Is it me you're looking for? Yes, it is. And welcome to the Talking Booth with CB. After my unforgettable stint on The Real Housewives of Abuja, I got a lot of requests in my DM from people from all over, asking me to mentor them, give them advice, seeking my opinion on issues. And that, my friends, was what gave me the confirmation that it was time to nurture the dream that I've had for almost 20 years. And that was how the Talking Booth with CB was born. I am so excited. This show is not about me. It's about all of us amazing everyday people. We've got questions. We need answers. We've got each other's back. Together, we form a tight-knit community where we tackle life's challenges head-on and find solutions as a team. On this show, we have Business of the Day, where we will be real. We will talk about real issues with guests who will share their personal experiences and give us advice, or if nothing else, their opinion. We are going to have a blast today. I have a lot to show you. But before we dive into this fun, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. And with me in the studio today to discuss this interesting topic is, interestingly, an Okafor. Ngozi, welcome to the Talking Booth, and thank you for coming.
It's great to be here.
And so, now not only are you an Okafor, as with the topic, you're an ex. So you're an ex, you're a mother, you are a contractress. Let's make sure that we can speak English here. And now I just found out that you're a radio producer also.
That's correct.
Okay, good. So we're going to enjoy this conversation.
Yes.
Okay, now to my left is Martis. You two, you're an ex, Abi?
I am indeed.
Okay. But you're not an Okafor.
No, I'm not.
But you're not an Okafor.
Yes, it's somewhere. I can't deny that.
A father,
Yes.
a philanthropist, and an investment banker. Thank you very much for coming to the Talking Booth.
I'm happy to be here.
And so I'm going right into it. What is Okafor's law?
I think people say Okafor's law is that if you have slept with a woman and the sex was good, that's the caveat.
Okay.
Because there are some very shitty sex, right? If the sex was good, there's a high tendency, a possibility that you can smash her again. Pardon my word.
Okay.
That's the general idea, that if sex was good, the woman is likely to come back.
And so this is my problem with the notion. So the sex was good, and therefore the man decides, this man now happens to be the husband, and I want you to know that he too might have been taking liberties with her before he married her, and decides that no more, you're not going to do this, you can't talk to this person. I think for me that's the issue, where it becomes a rule or a law. You can't talk to this man because you had something to do with him, thereby making her look like she doesn't have any self-control.
Right. So you're talking about the phenomenon where if somebody has sex and then they break up and they meet someone else, the person that they're with says you can't speak to your ex any longer because they're worried about Okafor's law.
Correct.
Well, sometimes it happens, and it's true that if you've dated somebody and you guys have become accustomed to each other and you know how each other feels, you know where the trigger spots are, you can come back at whatever point and have sex with them, even if they're in another relationship.
So this is my problem. Are you saying that every time that I meet this person, this ex that I had, that contributed to probably even how I have evolved as this woman, that this other man found attractive enough to marry, every time I see him, I will allow him to touch my pulse points, stroke me and all. And I think that is my problem with this, or rather, why we should discuss it. That at what point do we have as human beings the liberty to just be? There will always be somebody that you knew before. And it's not only on the side of the women, but the men also. Okay, so at what point, why is it that we have allowed it to be women who are put in front. You can't.
Before I came here today, I did a bit of study.
Okay, good.
And I realized that some people believe that Okafor's law is not a law. It's a hypothesis.
Okay.
Some say it's a myth. Some say that it's a function of how they ended. If it was a bitter breakup, there's a rare possibility that she wanted to be to a guy who beat her up or abused her or even raped her.
Makeup sex.
All right.
Done.
All right. And then there's also the argument that the so-called Okafor's law applies to the men as well.
Yes.
Yes.
That's another angle to it.
But does it? No. So this is what happens. A man will tell you distinctly, you cannot, you should not, I don't want to see it, get rid of his number and don't talk to him. I never want to hear it.
I think, but ultimately, either party is not going to be accepting of the fact that you're speaking with your ex. Because I know women who get upset if their boyfriend has a female best friend or if their boyfriend is still talking to his ex-girlfriend. And if you really think about it, it's like, why? Like, what is she that I'm not? And if you like her so much, why are you not there?
But you were friends. If we became enemies with every single person we met because we're trying to, I don't know, protect this relationship, then the whole world will not be talking to each other.
Well, it doesn't have to be enemies, but you could be indifferent. You could be, you don't speak anymore. But it's not where you're close enough for them to know what's going on in your daily life.
Okay.
It could be an occasional thing, maybe birthdays or Christmas. If you hear that your ex's parent passed away, you can send them money or you could write them a note. But that's very different from maintaining an ongoing friendship. And I think I'm going to stand on the side of, I understand why people would say, do not speak to your ex based on Okafor's law. Because I know human beings, we are creatures of habit. And so if you've been with somebody for 5 years and there's something that they do that makes you get excited and then you forget yourself. If you are in a new relationship and you go back to that other person in friendship, anything can happen in the course of the friendship that makes you feel soft again, makes you feel attracted to them again. And they know exactly what to say and do that will take you back to the old habit, whether it's a song that they need to play or a phrase that they say or a way that they touch you. So I understand where if a couple says, we're not going to be in relationship with our exes in any way, it's to protect the current relationship.
So let me now ask this. Let's go back to the very beginning. The issue of Okafor's law is because there was sex.
And because there's a man.
Wait.
It's not Nkechi's law. It's Okafor's law. You must clarify that.
Okay, expatiate on that before I continue what I wanted to say.
And I'll come back to what you said about men being overprotective over their wives or girlfriends. Men know that women will come back if they are good.
They're good at what?
You can be
Good at
sleeping
what?
with a girl.
That's my
In
point.
bed, good in
So
bed.
Okafor's law is based on the sex aspect.
It's-
Not because the person was intellectual or
No.
contributed to me. It's because of sex.
It's purely sexual.
So let's go back to the beginning. The beginning says that thou shalt not have sex till thou marry.
Oh, the Bible.
And
So the point is, if we now had obeyed the law, me and you would have been dating, no sex. When I decide to marry, is the man in the house going to be jumping up and down that, oh, don't talk to this person because he already knows that, because now he knows that I didn't taste you or I don't know how good you are and all that.
Angles.
Or,
First
so,
of all, you're talking based on people having the same beliefs, which we don't all have the same beliefs.
Okay.
But secondly, even if it was a relationship that didn't involve intercourse and we were emotionally intimate, it would still be a danger to the new relationship if I'm still emotionally attached to my ex.
So, but then the man at that point, he's telling you it's because of sex, not because of the emotions. Because most times, by the time you have moved on into another relationship, yes, okay, you'd, have feelings for this person that you're in a relationship with. But because there's a lot tied to sex, they tell you it's your spirit, body fluids, all that in knowing the person's trigger points and all that. So it's a lot more intimate. People feel, and I think that is where the guys get fixated in their heads that if I see this woman talking to this man, then she's automatically thinking, I want to be back in bed with him. So how do we disabuse the minds? Because I honestly do not see it making sense for people to say, cut off a total human being just because I went out with him.
Why not?
Why?
No,
This
because
question we're about to
statistically,
ask. Okay.
people have gone back and slept with the people that they were dating, even in a new relationship or marriage. So why shouldn't someone be afraid that if you continue to hang out with your ex, you're going to eventually sleep with him?
Mattis, answer the
But doesn't
question.
that negate the concept of self-control?
Okay.
That was your point earlier.
Yeah, stop.
So I'm married to Mrs. A, and I know that she doesn't give me like that.
She doesn't give you.
Giving.
Okay.
Like do.
Okay.
See, you understand?
So say it now.
Why would I assume that because she's talking to an ex of 10 years ago, that she wants to sleep with him? Generally, men are very insecure around their wives with their exes. And the reason is because men invented the Okafor's law. That's why, as I said earlier, it's not Ngosi's law or Nkechi's law, right? And I think that men do not give their wives or girlfriends enough credit to at least assume. Like you may talk to your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband or ex from whatever, how many years, but you can't assume that the fact that she's relating to him or talking to him, that you are being threatened.
Have you ever given an ultimatum?
No, I can never do that.
Why?
Because I believe in self-responsibility and accountability.
Fantastic. Have you ever given an ultimatum?
Absolutely.
Huh? Please,
I've been close to slashing tires. Oh, are you kidding me? I've been close to scratching his car, slashing his tires. Like I was so close, so close.
Did he speak to the ex, or you?
Yes, I saw the DMs where they were chatting.
And no, so were the DMs risky?
Of course, the DMs are. So that's the thing, right? I have an ex who is like. His nickname was Positioning Man because he's constantly looking for who to put horizontally, vertically, everywhere, and all that kind of stuff, right? When we got together, he used to be really friendly with waitresses, every female. And I just said to him, it's really disrespectful to me that whenever we're together, you're constantly commenting on another woman, her body, her shape, her voice, her... And I don't know if you're not seeing that. Like, I don't even know where that's coming from. Is that you trying to be polite or what? And initially he wasn't having it, but after a while I said, well, you have a choice to make, which is the ultimatum you said, do you guys give? I was like, I'm not going to stick around for you to act as if I'm a piece of furniture and then you're going to admire every single person around you. So imagine him with his ex, if he's doing this with strangers.
Okay.
So I said, you can't do that. So you have to decide if you want all of them, then go after all of them, and I'll just chill on my own.
But this is a conversation.
If you want me, then, But I'm just saying, like,
a situated conversation.
Yes.
That's what you've just done. It's situated. You had enough evidence to say, look, you've done this 1, 2, 3 times. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't like it. Please stop it. I think that's fair because we do, both sides would do the same thing. I would probably do the same thing too that he would call me out on. But as I said, have the conversation. And I honestly don't think it should be one that, as I said, you're ramming it down the person's throat. I agree with you. I mean, we're human beings, we're adults, treat me like that. Let me feel.
I have a friend whose husband said, now that we're getting married, I want you to burn all the underwear you've ever had.
No.
Before me.
And she did?
Yes. Because he was like, I don't want you to own anything that another man has seen, another man has touched, another man has taken off of you. So he gave her money to replace all her underwear.
Okay.
Because he was like, I don't want anything from your past to interfere with our current. And they've been married about 20 years now. But this was happening when they were dating.
I guess again, as you said, it would be up to the couples because, I mean, if I heard that, I would think it's a red flag.
Right.
That if you start with the underwear and burning, tomorrow what will... No, seriously now, let's say I got employed in an office where the Oga happened to be my ex-uncle. I got employed there. So what happens now? You remove my eyes so that I don't, see the guy? And then just to situate...
If I'm honest, I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
Which one?
You working with your ex.
I didn't know he's the Oga.
There are other companies.
No, now. no,
there's other companies.
So you would now... No, wait. We've been looking for this job for the last 5 years.
There are other
we don't know... At the time I get employed...
Realistic.
I don't understand what Auntie is talking about. No, they just okay.
There are other companies.
So my last conversation...
Now, your ex...
has jealousy problem.
I do. Your ex is your
problem.
boss. He's the one providing for you financially. Then he's kind of a mentor. And then you're going to look up to him. Then he gives you orders. And then you're going to work late.
Okay.
On my watch.
Okay, then you get me the job. For 5 years, we've been looking for it. You didn't see... You didn't...
I think that as human beings, we sometimes operate out of habit.
Okay.
So if you're talking to someone that you've loved, made love to, whatever it is for the last 3 years, if you guys are having a conversation, it's easy for you to slip in babe, right? Or to slip in I miss you. Or to slip in, oh, something reminded me of your ringtone. Now, it might not be flirtatious in terms of I really want to have sex with you in a couple of hours, but it's flirtatious enough that it's laying a foundation that in future, if I push you or touch you, you can and not really be drawing boundaries. So because human beings are creatures of habit, an ex, like, obviously I've had exes. I've had exes, and an ex can, show up, and I'm not going to be as guarded with my ex as I would be with a new person, right? So if I'm in a relationship and my ex comes around, he's already seen me naked. So what am I hiding, right? So I'm going to be completely open, completely vulnerable. The problem with that is, depending on the person, they would know how to use that when I'm feeling down. So if my current relationship is going on and I'm having a really bad day, and then my ex happens to call me or happens to visit, because we were together 5 years, he would know exactly what to say and what to do. My new relationship might not even be there yet, where that guy knows what to do. And so I'm now seeking, comfort from my ex.
Validation,
Yeah, and obviously some people express comfort by physical contact. So what happens then?
No, okay. So now, Martin, going back to what you said about self-control, I think it still boils down to that, because in the long run, are you going to sit down and actually start teleguiding? Because if there's anything that women are good at, it's multitasking.
And hiding things.
I was getting there and hiding things. And so you come, and then the human nature says the moment you say to me, don't do this, what happens? You want to do it. Okay, or your ego says you have to prove to this person he can't talk to you like that. And before you know it, you have people hiding all over the places. Not because they really want to do anything with them, but because they're friends now. They're friends. It didn't work out romantically, but they do have areas of interest that are, work for them. So, and that's the point that I don't understand. If I have an ex that there were areas of interest that we converged on, but we just realized, I can't be with you, we can't be with each other, we can't stand each other, we can't really be in a relationship with each other. Why do I have to cut off that bloodline? I hear you. Because temptation happens. You can fall at mistakes and also, but does that mean I shouldn't then live a fuller life because of temptation?
I absolutely believe that whatever connection you had with your ex, if it's business and if it's whatever it is, you can get it from somewhere else. So if your current relationship says to you, I don't feel comfortable,
yes,
I think you need to respect that current relationship and stay within whatever boundaries that current relationship requires for it to grow. Now, over time, when you guys have become more stable, the person can feel like, oh, well, actually, I know my babe, she's not going to do anything. And then they might be a bit more relaxed. But you actually have to honor the relationship that you're in. So if that person says, I don't feel comfortable with you talking with this guy. Now, for a man to say it is because they know, like you said, men have invented Okafor's law for their benefit. Which means that whenever they want, they can come and knock on any ex's door and expect free access. Yeah. So if men have invented this, then other men know what their other man is thinking. So they're like, I can trust you as my babe, but I know what that other guy is working on and I'm not comfortable with it. So if you want to be with this current guy, then you have to respect whichever boundaries that he set for the relationship.
Fair point.
Have you guys seen Sex Life?
Yes, I have.
That's Okafor's law.
You haven't seen it? Please, you need to.
That's Okafor's law.
He's right.
Right. So this lady and this guy did it for years. Over 10 years ago.
And then she gets married.
Gets married to some other guy who was a husband material. Right? And somehow, even though sex was great, they had kids, she just couldn't move over.
Yes, the glass guy, yes. And she went back.
And she actually started to write a diary.
Yes. And that was where it was.
The husband, like you said, I went and checked your boyfriend's DM. Was now reading the wife's diary. So, and in fact, he was masturbating to the wife's diary from her past experiences.
It's true. Yeah, and then it became, you need to watch it, Sex Life. That before, we leave, I want us to touch on the issue of the girl code. So we have the girl code. Well, I didn't know it was a girl code, but apparently it's a code where it says that you cannot date my ex-boyfriend. So it's supposed to be a hybrid of Okafor's law.
So if I understand it correctly, Okafor's law is your ex coming back to you
Yes.
and having free access. But the girl code is your ex.
Yes.
I'm not allowed access to your ex. Okay. That's an interesting one. That's something that's come up in my friendship group.
Okay.
And we've talked about it. And I think some of the girls in the friendship group said, we don't really care. Once we've broken up with the guy, we're done with him. We literally forget his name, so he doesn't exist to us anymore. Other girls have said, are you kidding me? There are 8 billion people on the planet, and
Why
it was
that
my
one?
ex that you found. So I think it's an individual thing. Even with Okafor's law, personally, I think there are 2 exes that I've gone back with after we split up, and then others that I haven't. So anyone who's vouching for me can't really do that, because if they're vouching for me based on, oh no, she didn't go back to this one and she didn't go back to that one. Well, actually, I went back to this one and went back to that one. So I think it's a very individual thing, right? And it's something that, like I said, every relationship has to discuss for themselves where their boundaries lie.
Interestingly enough, I haven't thought about it when it comes to the issue of the girl code, because I'm a human being. I'm living my life. I don't know where love, I don't know where a relationship like is going to come at me. If it happens to be with your ex, I'm going to take it if I'm happy. And I'm not doing it because I'm being malicious.
So you were his bestie. You were her bestie, rather.
Then I'll tell her now.
You were her bestie.
Yes, I want to tell
She
her.
had a fiancé who broke up with her.
Hey, it's too bad. It didn't work.
And that fiancé that broke up with you deserves to marry you.
So, and then what if that's where my happiness is? What if that's
We
where
should
his
understand.
happiness is? So at this point, she's not my issue. My issue is me. And my issue is him. They had a good relationship. I did not cause the breakup. Along the line, and that is why life is funny. Hills and valleys, and just, it's shocking. I probably didn't even expect to like him. But it happened that he had been thinking about me maybe for 10 years, even when he was with her. And he just realizes now, it's you I want to be with. So because she and him knocked some 10 years ago, now he likes me and wants to marry me. Because of that, their own knack, I should not be with him. No, seriously.
I get you.
And I think that's the problem. I think we become too invested in these temporary relationships that we hold on for so long that it jades us and causes us problem. If you've no business with being with a person for more than 6 months to a year, you now stay there for 10 years. It's not going to happen. It clearly, in year 2, it was clear it's not going to happen. But you've invested all that amount in you. Why does that become somebody else's fault and business? I'm not being callous here. I'm being pragmatic.
I get you.
That's it. Have you ever had any issue with girl code?
No, I haven't. I wanted to go back to your Okafor's law.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
When you talk to guys, you would hear guys say that they're fucking this girl or making love, right? And the girl will tell the man, if you ever need to fuck me again, call me.
The girl?
Yes.
And she likes it now. She likes him.
That's Okafor's law. The guy is enacting the law.
Wait.
That after this, if you ever need to have sex with me,
And he's telling who?
she's telling the guy.
She is the one telling the guy.
Yes.
Very good. So that's her agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
So what's the problem?
My point is that women, in some way, encourage Okafor's law.
Yes, always a woman will take the place.
I'll explain that to you. Even in the case of the married woman, it is the woman that looks for the man. Not the other way
That
around.
looks for her ex?
Yes.
I haven't had to look for nobody.
That's not true.
They come direct.
Now, how it happens usually is this. Let me try and situate it properly. So, if you be married for a couple of years, usually sex becomes secondary, takes the back seat. Intimacy takes the back seat. Kissing generally just flies through the window. In fact, most people's last kiss was their wedding day.
That's not true, Martin. This is shady now.
Exception, right?
Anyway, you wrote a book, right? How the hell did I get here?
Yes, indeed.
But who dragged you to the altar, Martin?
But marriage taught me a very, very hard lesson.
Now, this is directly related to it, and I know you gave me the book at that point to read, and you now said that jealousy is not love. Do you think Okafor's law? I don't think it's. Do you think Okafor's law is driven by jealousy? Talk to that.
Well, men should understand that jealousy is not a proof of love. It has never been. It's a proof of insecurity. When you take your wife's phone and delete all her ex's numbers, she has crammed them already. She will still go back. You think you're stopping her
If
from
she
doing
wants to.
the fact that you are stopping her is enough reason for her to go back. The same reason that if you stayed in your house for a month all alone, you will not feel bad. If they said you're under house arrest,
Okay, immediately.
or if they take your passport, you can't travel, you begin to want to travel. It's the sense of imprisonment that is the problem. So as I said in my book, jealousy is a good thing for those who have it, but it's never a proof of love. Now, a woman went through her husband's phone, as our friend did, going through her boyfriend's DM, and saw a message from the husband's ex, I think.
Shade.
And decided that my husband is cheating on me. You know what she did? She broke a bottle. The man had slept off and killed him.
Wow.
Oh, she killed him.
Yes. So jealousy
is
the root of all evil.
No, not money. Oh, okay, the love of
Money
money.
is learning.
No, the money.
Money is learning. Jealousy kills. So really, I think men should just be careful. As I said before, there's a place of personal responsibility.
I mean, if I'm honest, in my case, like I said before, sometimes you see an ex and they know exactly what to say or do, and then you fall for it, and sometimes you don't. I mean, I've had long-term relationships where this person and we know each other completely and intimately. And sometimes we, after you've broken up and you're not talking anymore, maybe a few months will go by, maybe a year will go by, and then they say, hey, just wanted to check on you, see how you're doing. And it happened to be that at the time they're checking on you, there's some news, right? You're either really feeling down or you're really excited and like, oh, let's meet up for dinner and catch up. So you meet up for dinner and you catch up. And then, oh, I'll just drop you back off at your place. And then they drop you back. And then they're like, oh, can I have a glass of water? They enter your apartment. And then you're in the kitchen. You're about to pour the water. They're standing right behind you. Something happens. The other thing happens. Everyone gets excited. And then you're back in bed together, right?
With who?
With your ex.
With the ex.
Okay. So
Because you've had a beautiful dinner. You've had a nice time. All the memories of the good times flood back in. You go into the kitchen to do something, they're standing right there, you can feel them behind you. Again, all the memories of past time comes. And to be honest, at some point, it's almost rude not to have sex with them.
Are you okay?
It feels like just common courtesy at this point.
Like, really?
Yes, because you guys have had such history. And you've had a beautiful evening. And if this is just, a nightcap, something that you need to just seal a beautiful evening, then you do.
Nightcap sex, courtesy sex. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
No, this is just opportunistic sex.
It is.
Okay.
Is it really?
It is.
Which one of them? Because it's nightcap, courtesy and opportunistic. Which
Because
one?
it'll be rude to go all the way and
What
then.
do you mean rude?
do
Rude
anything.
is cutting into somebody's conversation. Rude is being cut off on the road. Which one is rude? Is rude if you don't.
I read the story yesterday.
I think at this rate, you two wrote a book,
Yes.
Beginner's Guide to.
Oh, so my book is not relationship.
Uh-huh.
It's a beginner's guide to property investing.
No, this is property investing.
Okay.
By the time you are with a man and you're a woman and you want to make sure that the person is not there chasing other exes, please, you write one now for us. Correct the title. What will you write? Beginner's Guide to.
A beginner's guide to preventing Okafor's law.
Opportunistic.
Okay, your husband.
No, courtesy sex.
Yes.
Okay, Ngozi, please, before you slash me here, so let me. So your last thoughts, if I was to ask you what's your position on Okafor's law?
I believe it exists. I believe you can't speak on behalf of anyone to say, oh, not my babe or not my guy, because there's so many things that affect the decisions that we make. So I think it exists. I think that if you're in a relationship and the person you're with says, I don't want you fraternizing with your ex, I think you need to respect that if you care about the person that you're with. Because, you might have no intention to cheat. And if you have no intention to cheat, then it should be easier for you to walk away.
Okay. You?
But the question is, we'll talk about it. Does it work both ways?
Your last thoughts.
I know. So the man tells the woman, I don't want any ex around.
Yes,
me,
it
Can
does.
she also do the same thing with the man?
Yes, it does. But as we had already said, it's just the way it's delivered. You know that it's a man's world. She can say it. If the man decides to say, what do you want to do? Pack your load and leave the house? Especially in our society. Hello? Yes.
I was going to say, the unfortunate thing about men is that you don't even have to tell him not to talk to his ex for him to be sleeping around.
Okay,
Sadly.
thank you. What are your last words in 3 seconds? 3, 2, 1. So,
Okafor's law, I maintain, works more on the side of the woman. Reason is because a man wants something new. A guy wants something that is new every day. If a guy had his way,
He'll have
he
one
can bang one girl every day.
one
the rest
new
of their
girl.
life. One new girl. If
Okay.
he had his way.
So Okafor's law is a woman that call for it. That's what you're
It's the
saying.
woman who needs something she's familiar with,
Right.
not the man.
Makes sense.
Well, for me, in closing, you cannot cage a human being. And so if you'd ask me to say whether I'm on your side or on your side, I would say Okafor's law doesn't exist. I think it was a male construct to control women again in exercising their freedom to be. And I'm not saying freedom to be to just run around and not. No, to be able to take the decision and make up our mind that I want to be with you, not with this other person. Let's continue this conversation offline, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. And my guests, to you, thank you so much for coming on the show. As is customary with us in Nigeria, we can't just can't come to somebody's house, laugh and gist, and as you are going, we will not tell you thank you and well done and all that. So I have a little something for you. Are you surprised? Are you used to collecting it? So I hid it here.
Okay.
And ta! So we have. So this is for you. Yeah, and one for you. And this is your own.
Thank you very
So
much.
the Talking
Thank
Booth
you.
present us as our first ambassadors. Please, can you flip the back? Please, we're not joking about
I was
this.
here.
Yes, you
I
were
was here.
here.
I was here.
You were here to our safe, sacred space where we can converse about anything and everything. And I hope you were comfortable on our Vento furniture.
Yes.
You
Super
like
lovely.
it? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
So CB says, take your ex and ex out for lunch. To eat food, not the other food. Let it be a restaurant. The best 3 will be chosen from any of our social media handles. So just make sure that you tag and tell us the story. So with this, we have come to the end of this episode of The Talking Booth with Comfort Booth. Thank you so much for tuning in. I couldn't have done this without you. Please follow us on all our social media handles. Instagram, Thread, X, formerly known as Twitter. We just spoke about X, YouTube, and Facebook. Till I see you next week, it's from me here. Bye.